I'm Natalie D'Adamio. I'm a mixed media artist, intuitive creativity coach. I help people come into their authentic selves and their free selves in art and life. You can find more information about that in the link in my bio. And I also love freedom. I love color. I love mark making. I love a good scribble. I've been slowly learning what I love over, time, last years, and always coming to many blocks and facing many fears. So I've been figuring out my own solution to, well, how do I become more free? Not just in art, but in life. And what I found with art making, though, is if you stay with it, even if it's just a simple drawing practice, over time, you will start to unwind and rewind yourself. And it can be that simple, but it has to be a practice, right? Like a daily practice. But this video is all about loosening up, and we can all have experienced that problem at any stage in our journey. So you intermediates and experienced artists are also welcome to try out my easy solution. And it's simply buying this cheap composition notebook, something you don't really care about, something that maybe your pages might rip, and you can't really control the outcome with that. So it's all about learning to let it be rough and raw and experimental. And that's how we're going to learn how to loosen up. And I'm going to take you through this book, and then I'm going to show you how I work on a page. And just follow me along, and I'll be talking about a little bit more about why. And yeah, let's go. If you're kind of scared to start, get yourself like a super cheap notebook and use that. This is like a couple bucks, right? A composition book. And you're gonna have issues with the paper. Hands down, I'm telling you that right now. But this is like part of the fun and the challenge. You want to loosen up and you want to be more free. You want to kind of do the opposite of what you would do. And you want to kind of explore, like, if you're a perfectionist, you want to kind of be like a little bit more messy. So if you're getting yourself something cheap, you can call it whatever you want. I call this the Dribbles and Scribbles book. You can name yours accordingly. And then you just start. What's fun is if you're working along on regular work and you have leftover paint, then you could start a couple of pages. Or you could just like sit down and play. It just depends. Now, anything goes in this book. That's what the good news. Good news. Anything goes. Be as weird as you want. You don't have to show it to anyone. I'll show you mine though, because, the pages are going to stick. I'll show you my weird book. Look, these are cute. Things can be weird. Things can be silly. Things can be off. Things can be like a little erratic. Actually, I think these would make good t-shirts. I'm still going to do that idea soon. Long list of things to do. I don't know about you guys, but put it on the list. So, I'm really letting go in this book. And I'm not worried about if it wrinkled or, and I started to collage some stuff on the sides. We're going to move this out of the way. It's off the edge. And bringing collage in. Well, see this? That was a Post-it note. This is definitely like gonna tear. Unless maybe you are more gentle with it. My idea was like, I'm just gonna make this book that You know, people always talk about sketchbooks, but like they tend to treat them so precious, like there are real paintings. And I noticed myself that I was doing that, and I'm like, that's not the point of a sketchbook, right? I don't think. Anyway, was my own inner dialogue, and this is kind of where it was born out of. Also, seeing Basquiat used to work in composition books, I kind of like put the two things together and said, okay, well, why don't I just explore, like really going at it. And I know if you know my style, you'd be like, what do you mean? But for me, this is even a little bit, yeah, questionable. There's some interesting stuff going on in there, though. I haven't looked at this in a while. Thought it would be good to talk about this for all you precious people out there. If you want to loosen up, I would suggest this because, like, I'm suggesting it to myself when I have leftover paint, or if I just am having only a short amount of time, like 5, 10, 15 minutes, I'll work on these pages sometimes. But it's gonna be messy and it's gonna rip. I sort of like that though, so it didn't really bother me. But like, even for me, these are very like immediate. These are less than 10 minutes, all of it. I know it is. They're very like even more free than I would normally be. Ooh, these are, see, it's exciting. You can use anything. Cheap composition book. You know, whatever tools you got. This is just acrylic paint, some collage material that I had laying around, and then, you know. But, you know, so this is like, say, you're 15 minutes or less. I'm thinking I did probably like 5 or 10 minutes for all of these pages. But you really got that immediacy there. You can really see some interesting things going on. But you wanna, then you can like start to build that line and shape and color and form. And you know, once we go back here, like maybe something weird comes out, like these faces, or you know, you let it come out. And you just have fun. Like, this is a marker. It's not precious by any means, because look, this is ripped. This is really a good time to take like maybe colors you don't use, things you feel like kind of are maybe too taboo for you to do in your work. You know, maybe just like you feel sometimes you can't really like let go, because it feels like, you know, messy, like, but you need to allow yourself that opportunity, because you're gonna start to open up and start to see. I can already see myself as I flip through this like pattern emerging, but that's just because I've been working so long over time in strange ways. But that's what you want to do, is start building a visual vocabulary that you can like flip through. And in regards to if you want to loosen up and like let go of that preciousness, this is one just real simple way to like start. And I'm gonna work on a page right now. And I'll show you what I mean. I was just using the leftover paint that I had. I had some right here on the side. This was left over from like the brush I was just using. So this is really, there is no rhyme or reason to this. it's almost like wiping off the excess. But then, you know, besides just the paint, if you do want to grab like mark making materials, these are really nice. These are Lyra graphite sticks. This happens to be a 9B. They come in a couple different weights. They make a nice dark mark. So I'm just grabbing what I used. It's around me. And I'm just, ooh, I want to let it out because I was having a bad day. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of rough today. Now, like, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, but I have this, like, collage pan over here, and I see this out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, what if I just, you know, glued that on there? Now, we're talking about immediacy here, so, you're really training yourself for other things. Think about this as, like, your training ground for getting comfortable with when you have to go in and you have to make that decision to bring up your painting. And, you know, that dreaded decision, how do I bring this thing up? Is it done? And you have to be more gentle, but it's gonna be easier if you have like a training ground to go into that work. And actually, you're starting to build your own understanding and relationships to everything. Like, see, this kind of lines up to this, and there is something interesting going on here, at least to me, and I hope you see it because I see it. But you know, it's all about that, and like what's interesting to me might not be interesting to you. That is true. But even over here, you could see, oh, what could I do now? I could probably bring this orange back into this. And maybe bring it over here. And then this is just another crayon. Let it out. I always like to have a little bit of white around, lots of white, and then let it mix with whatever was there. And voila, voila. You might want to, I like to drag like these lines through, just like a real subtle extra, creates a difference in a subtle way. But, you know, you gotta definitely let these pages dry, because you can't, they're already, if they're like this wet, you could see, this is what you could play around with. You could see how far you can push the page before it does rip. That's always fun. And, because these are really just notebook pages. I don't even know what pound that would be, but not, you know, not heavy at all. It's not really made for this. But that's like the fun in it. It's kind of like seeing how far you can push it, and actually also allowing yourself to like go in the process. And, you know, just like, it doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. You just had like complete fun, chaos, wild, free, you know, cacophony of color. That was fun, you know, and it wasn't that long. So sometimes it could be that simple, you know, and it doesn't have to have any deep meaning. But I love the deep meanings. But, you know, I love the also silly, fun, nonsensical moment where you're just exploring. So you got to think of yourself as an explorer, an investigator, get curious, you know, do something crazy. Maybe your crazy is the opposite of this. I don't know. But that's like all up to you to determine. It's just about starting and learning to let go and allowing whatever wants to come through to come through. So let me know in the comments if you go out and get one of these cheap composition books and start. And so let me know in the comments if you try this out. Obviously, you could try it out on any kind of piece of paper. It doesn't have to be in a book. I often don't prefer things to be in books. But this is just like a fun, silly way. You know, let me know what you call your book. Call it something. You could even write your name on there. Make it official. And if you're having fun, or if you need a tip to let go or anything, I'm here for you. Just ask away in the comments. And you know, it's all about loosening up, having fun, and being less precious. And yeah, starting to see what's in there. And then the more we can do this, at least this is my personal opinion, we can then start to really, you know, start to move into this work on paper and, you know, the larger works, where and carry that whole feeling, hopefully eventually, into the other work. So I hope that this helps you if you're a beginner, like, get an idea of, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. And actually, in the beginning, it never really is. You're just kind of getting used to learning how to, like, get in there and see what's in there. Sometimes that part is so scary, and that can take, like, a lot of emotional and mental work to just investigate that. There's, like, layers and levels to all of this. I am still having my own issues over here, just as much as you are, wherever you're starting. And, you know, it's day to day, and it's a process and a practice, so it's about showing up. But if you need one-on-one coaching, where I do individual art coaching and individual, like, energetic and freedom coaching, we can combine that. I can work with you individually, based on what your needs are, but it's all about, like, being that bold, bright, authentic self. And so it's all individual to your needs, and it's all about finding freedom. So if you're interested in that, just check the notes in below and click on the link to learn more about that. Feel free to comment below, email me with any questions you might have. Tell me if you started this composition book, and, you know, if you are still stuck and have a question, feel free to put it in the comments. I'll answer that as best as I can. And stick around for more videos. If you're new to the channel, you know, hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff. A new video every Sunday is the goal. There might be more, I don't know. We'll see what's gonna happen. It's all an experiment, and it's all about exploration, and it's all about the expressive nature of being. So thank you for being here.